The tense atmosphere of the Galactic Directive's sprawling operations center. He stood at the center, his attention locked onto the holographic display that filled the air with a calm hum. The scene unfolding before him was clear. Outpost Alpha lay in flaming wreckage, reduced to ruins, once the pride of the Federation's defensive network. But the devastation wasn't the most shocking part. It was the attackers. Human ships, sleek and black as night, moved with precision and brutality. These were people who were supposed to be inconsequential, focused on peaceful development, not capable of such aggression. The sound of an officer's voice cut through the heavy air tinged with disbelief. They reported that contact had been lost with 2 more stations, indicating that the humans were striking everything. Admiral Zera didn't respond immediately. His mind raced as he tried to comprehend the situation. Humans? Why would they do this? How could they? He recalled the countless reports he had processed over the years. Yes, humans were a rising species, but this level of offensive action was something entirely different. The audacity gnawed at him, igniting a discomfort that had no place in a leader of his stature. The officer pressed on, his voice straining with panic, causing Zera's normally cool demeanor to stiffen. He commanded the nearest fleet to be deployed, demanding eyes on their movements without delay. Suddenly, the operations center erupted with frenzied activity, holographic displays shifting as officers barked orders. The loud hum of scanners filled the air, but none of it mattered. The truth loomed heavy. The humans were attacking, and they were winning. The display flashed again, showing more devastation, with human ships ripping apart a defense relay with perfect strikes, an echo of precision that took years to master. A mastery Galactic Command had never believed Earth possessed. Another officer reported that the defensive systems were useless. The humans had bypassed everything, as if they knew exactly where to strike. Zera's eyes narrowed, and though there was no panic in his voice, the tension in the room felt palpable. How are they doing this? He demanded. The response came through a shaky voice. Their ships were nearly undetectable until they were right on top of them. Zera tightened his fists at his sides, asserting that this was no average assault, but a calculated strategy targeting key posts, demolishing their defenses from within. He hesitated, questioning the intent of the humans. What did they stand to gain? No one had an answer. Meanwhile, across the stars, General Cash Rhodes sat aboard the bridge of the Indomitable, Earth's most advanced warship. His face was illuminated by the soft blue glow of the tactical display, his expression unreadable, while his team worked swiftly and efficiently around him. They had planned this attack with absolute precision, leaving no room for error. One of his officers reported a successful strike. Outpost Theta was down. Good. Maintain the schedule. Rhodes responded quietly, knowing the weight of their actions. Striking first, without warning, went against every diplomatic instinct humanity had nurtured for centuries. But they saw no other choice. The whispers of a secret plan by the Galactic Command to bring Earth to its knees had reached them, and they could not wait for the axe to fall. Another report came in from Lieutenant Adra, stating that the Galactic Command appeared disoriented and still trying to comprehend the assault. Rhodes exhaled quietly, sensing the tension lift slightly. The element of surprise was their advantage, often the most critical weapon in conflict. He ordered the fleet to move to the next target without delays. Adra paused uncertainly, questioning whether the Federation would ever understand the rationale behind their actions. Rhodes glanced at her, his expression softening momentarily, asserting that they would understand, but would be too late. Back in the command deck of the Galactic Directive, Admiral Zera stared at the tactical map, sensing that something was fundamentally wrong. This wasn't just a skirmish, it was a premeditated annihilation, and the humans weren't reacting as anticipated. They were guiding the attack. An officer at the sensor station reported that the human ships had vanished again, shaking with the realization that they couldn't keep track of them. Zera's jaw tightened as he ordered the defensive fleet to prepare, insisting that they must stop the humans before they reached the core systems. As the command center braced for a desperate last stand, Zera could not shake the burning question in his mind. How had they misjudged humanity so completely? Meanwhile, aboard the Indomitable, Rhodes stood at a window, looking into the vastness of space, his reflection staring back at him resolutely. This wasn't the war they wanted, but it was the war they had to fight. Battle ready for the next phase, General Adra said softly. Rhodes nodded, commanding the fleet to complete their mission. Back at the operations center, Zera paced anxiously, each update from the battlefield worsening their predicament. The humans once again vanished, slipping through their defenses, while outposts that should have endured for weeks fell within hours. His second-in-command approached, her expression grim, conveying that the council demanded an explanation for their unexpected vulnerability. Zira, staring at the fading icons of his fleet, replied simply, "We underestimated Earth." His voice dropped as he added, "But there's more. They're attacking with a precision we've never seen before. It's as if they've been studying us for years." Commander Axe, visibly shaken, responded, "I think they've been preparing for this much longer than we realized." Back aboard the Indomitable, Rhodes commanded Lieutenant Andra to prepare for the next target, while acknowledging that their command structure couldn't hold much longer. "Exactly," he noted quietly, knowing they were counting on that very fact. Adra worried if the humans would rally enough to counterattack, but Rhodes dismissed the idea, stating they wouldn't manage it in time. The intercom crackled to life with an incoming transmission from High Admiral Zira. Rhodes raised an eyebrow at the early impersonal call from the commander, deciding to put him through. As the hologram flickered, Zira appeared, tall, proud, yet simmering with fury. "General Rhodes," he began, "I assume you understand the gravity of what you've done." Rhodes met his gaze evenly. "I understand perfectly. You struck at the heart of the galaxy's defense and damaged alliances. For what? To prove a point?" Zira questioned. "This isn't about proving anything." Rhodes replied, "It's about survival. We know what you planned for Earth. We chose not to wait." Zira blinked in disbelief. "You can't be serious. We had no immediate plans to engage Earth." Rhodes interrupted. "Your council planned to bring Earth under control within a decade. Oppression disguised as diplomacy. We saw through it. You've made a grave mistake, General. You can't defeat the entire Federation." Rhodes stepped forward, asserting, "We don't need to defeat the entire Federation. Just you. Long enough to ensure you'd never try this again." Zira warned, "You're playing with fire. This won't end the way you think." Rhodes nodded slowly. "Maybe not, but it will end on our terms." The transmission abruptly cut off, plunging the room back into silence. Adra turned to Rhodes, asking what their next move would be. He looked out at the stars, his voice low and resolute. "We proceed." The engines of the Indomitable roared back to life as Earth had taken the first shot. Now they would define how the war would end. The cold, sterile light of the Galactic Directive's war room flickered, mirroring the rising tension in the air as High Admiral Zaris found himself at the center, observing a tactical exhibition of the battlefield. His thoughts raced as he analyzed the situation. The fleet had been scattered, reduced to mere symbols of devastation on the screen. Each attempt to regroup was met with brutal efficiency from the human ships, which seemed to appear out of nowhere, annihilating vital points before vanishing into the void again. This wasn't conventional warfare. It was systematic extermination. Commander Axe's voice broke through Zaris's absorption, reminding him that the Council demanded an update. Zaris remained focused on the display, wrestling with the chaotic situation, desperately seeking clarity. The humans were not supposed to possess such capabilities for precise maneuvers and premeditated strikes. Feigning calm, Zaris assured Axe that there would be no further discussion until they had concrete information. Axe, hesitant but eventually compliant, moved away, and Zaris recognized a stark reality that no one wanted to confront. The humans were winning. Every strategy they rehearsed had crumbled under Earth's relentless advance. They had prepared for a typical engagement, but this was entirely different. Compelled to find some answer, he turned to his console, pulling up intel on Earth's new weapon systems, desperate for an explanation. His eyes scanned the reports that described quantum weaponry and advanced cloaking devices capable of bypassing even their best shields. Yet it wasn't merely technology that catalyzed this assault. There lurked a deeper ruthlessness, an unanticipated strategy. "Admiral," Axe called urgently, returning with time-sensitive information. "We've intercepted human communications. You need to hear this." Rachel bowed slightly. "We understand our place, counselors. Earth only seeks to contribute where we can." As the meeting adjourned, Commander Threx approached the human with forced geniality. "Your persistence is admirable, Envoy. Perhaps in a few centuries, your kind will have something worth offering." "Perhaps sooner than you think," Rachel replied with a cryptic smile. "In fact, I've been authorized to extend an invitation. The United Earth Coalition would be honored to host a Dominion delegation for a technology demonstration next week." Threx's inner eyelids blinked in surprise. The Dominion. the unmatched military powerhouse of the quadrant, being invited to observe human technology. The comedic potential was too tempting. "I accept," he said, already drafting a scornful report for his superiors. A week later, Threx's flagship, the Relentless Will, hovered near Earth's moon. His bridge crew monitored the incoming human vessel with open disdain. "Primitive thrust engines," muttered his tactical officer. "Their emissions are visible from 3 systems away." "Manners, Dexel," Threx chided, his mouth tendrils twitching in amusement. "Let's enjoy the show." The human craft docked, and Rachel Lynn emerged flanked by military officers. After formal greetings, Threx led them to the observation deck. "Well, envoy," he said, gesturing to the vast viewscreen displaying Earth and nearby space, "we're here. What is this grand demonstration?" Rachel nodded to a stern human admiral, who activated a compact communicator. "Spectre, begin Operation Phantom Reveal." Nothing seemed to happen. Threx's officers exchanged amused glances. The admiral's spines quivered with barely restrained laughter. Then every alarm aboard the Relentless Will erupted. Massive energy spike detected. The sensor officer shouted, scales blanching. It's impossible." Just outside the ship, barely 5 kilometers from the Dominion cruiser, space itself seemed to tear open. From the void emerged a colossal vessel, black as shadow, with angular lines that warped the surrounding light. It dwarfed the Relentless Will. "Multiple weapons lock detected," reported Dexel, voice shaking. "Their systems are fully charged. They could have struck at any moment." "Commander Threx," Rachel said calmly, "allow me to introduce the UES Spectre, humanity's first stealth dreadnought. It's been trailing your ship since your arrival in the Sol system. 2 days ago." The bridge fell deathly silent. Threx's outer heart skipped a beat. "That's impossible," he whispered. "Our sensors are the most sophisticated in the quadrant." And yet they saw nothing. The human admiral said with a faint smile, "We've been monitoring your defenses, analyzing your tactics, and intercepting your communications, all without being noticed." Rachel stepped forward. "Humans evolved as stalking predators. Commander, patience and precision are in our very DNA. When we couldn't match the Dominion's strength, we chose another path. We didn't build stealth tech because it was easy. We built it because everyone else believed it couldn't be done." The Spectre hovered silently before them, its presence rewriting the strategic balance of the quadrant. So Rachel continued, "About that technology exchange council seat." Threx's spines flattened in submission. "I will personally advocate for your immediate inclusion, envoy." As the human delegation departed, Threx stared at the dark vessel through the viewscreen. He could still hear the assembly's laughter echoing in his mind. But now, no one was laughing. The humans had been in their midst all along, watching, studying, and waiting for the perfect moment to reveal just how dangerous they truly were.